Good morning, students. Today we are going to explore the questions which are based on the concept of decimal expansion of rational and irrational number. Let us go to question number 2 from exercise 1.3, which states that you know that 1 by 7 is equal to a recurring decimal 0.142857. Can you predict what will be the decimal expansion of 2 by 7, 3 by 7, 4 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7 without actually doing the long division method? Let us see how can we do this. We know that 1 by 7 is equal to a recurring decimal. Therefore, 2 by 7 can be found by splitting it as product of 2 and 1 by 7. 2 times 1 by 7. So 2 times the value of 1 by 7. And we obtain the product equal to 0.285714. In a similar manner, we can find 3 by 7, which is 3 times 1 by 7. 3 times the value of 1 by 7 equal to 0.428571. 4 by 7 can be worked out in a similar manner as 4 times 1 by 7, 4 times the value of 1 by 7, which is equal to 0.571428. Thus, we can find the value for 5 by 7, 6 by 7 easily. Let us verify the value from the decimal expansion of 1 by 7. Have a look at the long division method we have used here to find the decimal expansion of 1 by 7. To verify the value of 2 by 7, let us go to a place where the dividend is equal to 2. So, if we take 0 from equivalent decimal, then in the quotient we will have 0 point. Now, 7 2s are 14. Remainder obtained is 6. 7 8s are 56. Remainder 4. 7 5s are 35. Remainder 5. 7 7s are 49. Remainder 1. 7 1s are 7. Remainder 3. 7 4s are 28. Remainder 2. And we know that once we obtain remainder 2, the same set of digits will repeat. Isn't that? We will obtain the same set of remainders and the same set of digits in the quotient. If you have a look at the digits in the quotient place, you will be surprised to see that we have obtained 7 2s are 14, 2 here. 7 8s are 56, 2 followed by 8. 7 5s are 35, 285. 7 7s are 49, 2857. 7 1s are 7, 28571. 7 4s are 28, 28514. And we stopped here because thereafter we got remainder 2 and the digits will recur. Therefore, the answer obtained here 0.285714 is a recurring decimal. We can verify our answer for 3 by 7, 4 by 7 in a similar manner. For 3 by 7, we should go to the dividend equal to 3. For 4 by 7, go to a dividend equal to 4. 5 by 7, dividend equal to 5. And check our answer. It is that easy. I request children, when you will do the sums in the notebook, please verify your answer from long division method. Today we are going to see one more question. How can we express a decimal number into a fraction form? This can be very easily done if the decimal is a terminating one. For example, if the decimal is 0.5, we can easily write it as 5 upon 10 in fractional form. If it is 0.003, it can be written as 3 upon 1000. But if the decimal expansion is non-terminating and a recurring decimal, can we write it or express it in the form of a fraction? And how can it be done? So today we are going to study the method to express non-terminating recurring decimal in the form of a fraction. Let us have a look at question number 3, which states that express the following in the form of a fraction p by q, where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0. The very first example, 0.6 recurring. So what do? We assume this recurring decimal equal to x. So let x equal to 0.6 recurring. As the digit 6 is recurring, we can further write it as x is equal to 0.6666 ... Let us label this statement as 1. Now, the next step involves multiplication by 10, 100, 1000 on either side of the statement. It depends upon the digits that recur. If only one digit recurs, then we will multiply just by 10 on either side. If two digits are recurring, we will multiply by 100. And if three digits recur, we will multiply by 1000 on either side. Here, as you can see that only one digit is recurring, we will multiply both the sides by 10. So we get 10 times x equal to 10 times 0.6666 ... Do mention ... because that indicates it is non-terminating decimal. Therefore, 10x is equal to 6.666 ... Let us label this statement as 2. Once we have two statements here, the next step is subtract statement 1 from 2. Let us perform this subtraction. So we'll copy down statement number 2 followed by statement number 1. And let us subtract both. On the LHS, we will have 10x minus x equal to 9x. On the RHS, if you look at the decimal part, it will be equal to 000. And in the whole number part, we will have 6 minus 0 equal to 6. Our answer will be 9x equal to 6. Let us shift this 9 on the other side to obtain the value of x. Therefore, x is equal to 6 upon 9. Now, 6 upon 9 can be reduced further to its lowest form as x equal to 2 by 3. But do you remember what is your x? X is nothing but our assumed recurring decimal 0.6 bar. That means that our recurring decimal 0.6 bar is equal to a fraction 2 by 3. If we compare with p by q, we can say that p is equal to 2 and q is equal to 3, and the denominator q is non-zero. We can write the final answer as 0.6 bar is equal to 2 upon 3. Isn't the method interesting one? Let us study some more examples from the same question. 0.47 bar. The first step involves let x equal to the given number 0.47 bar. Here you can see that bar is placed over one digit and not both the digits. So, only one digit 7 will be repeated again and again. We will have x is equal to 0.4 777 dot dot dot. Let us assume this as statement number 1. As only one digit is recurring, we will multiply both the sides by 10. We get 10 times x is equal to 10 times the recurring decimal 0.4777. On the LHS we have, therefore 10x is equal to, right hand side we have 4.777 dot dot dot. Let us label this as statement number 2. Now we know the next step. We have to subtract statement number 1 from statement number 2. Now when we do so, let us see what do we get. Copy statement number 2 followed by statement number 1 and subtract both the statements. If you look at LHS, 10x minus x is equal to 9x. Here, if you look at the decimal part, 7 minus 7 will give you 0. Again 7 minus 7 will give you 0. But 7 minus 4 will give you 3. We have 3 in the 10th place. While the whole number part 4 minus 0 will be equal to 4. Therefore, we obtain 9x equal to 4.300. That is 9x equal to 4.3. The decimal 4.3 can be expressed in the form of fraction as 43 upon 10. Now, since we want the value of x alone, let us shift 9 on the other side. So, we will have 9 and 10 in the denominator. What is 9 into 10? 90. Therefore, x is equal to 43 upon 90, where the value of numerator p is equal to 43 and denominator q is equal to 90. So, we can say that therefore 0.47 bar is equal to a fraction 43 upon 90. Once again, we have expressed a recurring decimal in the form of a fraction. Look at third question. 0.001, a bar placed over the head of 3 digits. The first step is yes. Let us assume this number equal to x. As the 3 digits a bar is placed, the same set of digits will be repeated one more time. 001, 001, dot dot dot. And let us assume this as statement number 1. Since 3 digits are recurring, we must multiply by 1000. When we do so, we get 1000 into x is equal to 1000 into the recurring decimal. Therefore, on the left hand side we have 1000x. On the right hand side, since we multiply by 1000, the decimal point will be shifted 3 digits to the right, and we will have 1.001001 dot 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 as the product on the RHS. Let us label this statement as 2. The next step, yes, it is subtract statement number 1 from statement number 2. So when we do so, let us see what is the result. On the left hand side, 1000x minus x, we will have 999x, isn't it? And on the right hand side, you can see that the decimal part will get nullified. In the whole number part, we will have 1 minus 0 equal to 1. So the result will be 999x is equal to 1.000, which is further equal to 999x equal to 1. Therefore, the value of x will be 1 upon 999. Here, the value of p is equal to 1 and q is equal to 999. So, we can write our answer as, therefore, 0.001 bar is equal to a fraction 1 upon 999. Several types of questions can be framed on similar type. Question number 4. Express 0.999 in the form of P by Q. And are you surprised by your answer? Here you can once again see that only one digit 9 is recurring. Let us assume x equal to 0.999 a recurring decimal, and label this statement as 1. As only one digit is recurring, we will multiply by 10 on either side. We have 10 times x equal to 10 times 0.9999 . Therefore, we have 10x equal to 9.999 . Let us label this statement as 2. So, we have two statements here, 1 and 2. Once again, we will subtract 1 from 2. Let us see what do we obtain when we do so. When we perform the subtraction, we get 9x equal to 9.000. Therefore, 9x is equal to 9. If we want to find the value of x, we will shift 9 on the other side. Therefore, x is equal to 9 upon 9, which is further equal to simply an integer 1. We have obtained the value of x equal to 1. That means that 0.999, a recurring decimal, non-terminating recurring decimal, is equal to an integer 1. Aren't you surprised that a non-terminating recurring decimal is equal to an integer? How's that possible? Let us have a look at this number line. Here, we have magnified the distance between integers 0 and 1. To do so, we have divided the distance into 10 equal parts. So, here you can see a decimal number line. The first decimal on the number line is 0.0, followed by 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and so on. Now, if you look at this place 0.9 and 1, you can see that 0.9 is very close to integer 1. Imagine if you are taking 0.99, it will still be closer to 1. 0.9999, it will more be closer to 1. So, there will be hardly any gap left between 0.99999 if you go on forever. That means that the non-terminating recurring decimal 0.99999 will be almost equal to the integer 1. So, there is no surprise here that 0.99999, a non-terminating recurring decimal, is equal to an integer 1. Come to question number 6. Look at several examples of rational numbers in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and have no common factor other than 1 and have terminating decimal representation. Can you guess what property Q must satisfy? To guess the property, let us have a look at some examples which involves P and Q, the numerator and denominator, as co-prime integers and the decimal expansion as terminating 1. Half, which is 1 by 2, is equal to a decimal 0.5. 33 by 8 equal to a terminating decimal 4.125. 4 by 5 equal to 0.8. 1 by 25 0.04 and 13 by 100 equal to 0.13. If you look at the first line, the denominator has 2 and here 8. 8 is 2 raised to power 3. That means that If you have a terminating decimal expansion, the denominator may have 2 or some power of 2. Similarly, if you look at second line, the denominator is 5 and here 25, which is 5 square. That shows that the denominator may be in the form of 5 or some power of 5. Look at the third line, denominator 100, which is product of 10 into 10. That is 2 into 5 into 2 into 5. 2 raised to power 2 into 5 raised to power 2. So it has both 2 and 5. Isn't it interesting? So we can conclude that rational numbers of the form P by Q, Q non-zero, and where P and Q are co-prime integers and have terminating decimal expansion has denominator of the form 2 raised to m into 5 raised to n. Now, if it has only power of 2, the power of 5 can be taken as 0. We know that a non-zero number raised to power 0 is equal to 1. In that case, this number will be equal to 1. And when the denominator includes only the power of 5, we can assume the power of 2 m as 0. If the number has denominator including both 2 and 5, then power of 2 and 5 can be a positive integers. Thus, we can conclude that the powers m and n are non-negative integers, 0 or a positive integer. We are going to study this property of rational numbers in detail in class 10 and see some more application based on it. Come to question number 8. Find 3 different irrational numbers that lie between two rationals 5 by 7 and 9 by 11. We have already seen that between any two real numbers, infinite number of rational numbers and irrational numbers can lie. So, it is very easy to find irrational numbers that lie between these two rationals. To do so, let us first find the decimal expansion of both 5 by 7 and 9 by 11. So, when we work out the decimal expansion of 5 by 7 and 9 by 11, you can see that it is a non-terminating and recurring decimal. 5 by 7 is equal to 0.714285 recurring decimal, while 9 by 11 is equal to 0.81 recurring. Now, our irrational numbers lie between these two limits, 0.714285 and 0.81. We know that irrational numbers can be written in the form of decimal as non-terminating and non-recurring one. Since our numbers lie between them, our irrational numbers must be greater than 0.714285 but less than 0.81. So, we can easily start with 0.715 and write down the number which is non-terminating and non-recurring. Or we can start writing the number from 0.72 onwards, 0.73 onwards, 0.74 onwards, but it should not exceed 0.81. Here we have included some examples. Look at first example, 0.73 followed by 07, 3007, 300073 ... a non-terminating, non-recurring decimal which is an irrational number. The second example we have written starting with 0.74 followed by 510, 781, 0013 ... And the third example we have included is closer to 0.81 but lesser than it. It is 0.7908, 008, 0008 dot. You can write several examples. You can frame examples by your own other than this. But we must take care that as they are irrational, the decimal expansion has to be non-terminating and non-recurring one. Let us come to the last question of exercise 1.3, which states that classify the following as rational or irrational numbers. We have already seen numbers of the form nth root of a. So, if the square root of a is a perfect square, then square root of a will be a rational number. But if a is not a perfect square, then square root of a will not be a rational number. In that case, it will be an irrational number. Look at 23 here. Square root of 23. As 23 is not a perfect square, we can say that square root of 23 is not a rational number. Therefore, square root of 23 is an irrational number. Let us go to second example, square root of 225. We all know that 225 is a perfect square of 15. Therefore, square root of 225 will be equal to 15, a rational number. So, we can conclude that square root of 225 is a rational number. Here, to find the value, to express it as rational or irrational number, we have taken help of concept nth root of a. Let us have a look at some more example. 0.3796, a terminating decimal expansion, and we know that rational numbers have terminating decimal expansion. Therefore, we can conclude that 0.3796 is a rational number. Let us see fourth example. 7.478478 dot, which shows that it is non-terminating and recurring decimal. And we also know that rational numbers, if non-terminating, have recurring decimal expansion. Therefore, we can conclude that given number is a rational number. Have a look at fifth example. 1.101, 001, 0001, 00001 dot. When we look at this example, it is clear that it is non-terminating and non-recurring one. And we know that when the decimal expansion is non-terminating and non-recurring one, it is none other than an irrational number. Therefore, we can conclude that given number is an irrational number. Here, to find whether it is rational or irrational number, we have used the concept of decimal expansion of rational and irrational number. With this, we have completed our exercise 1.3. Do maintain a proper record of exercise 1.3 in your notebook. Thank you.